What's going on, everybody? Southern Comic Geek coming back at you. Got a couple of good presents in the mail I've been waiting on. I know which one of them is, and I'm not sure about the other one. But let's see what we got here. Just over here on a Saturday afternoon, just chilling. Hopefully everybody's weekend is going well, whether you join me in the live chat or whether you join me later. It doesn't really matter, but hopefully your week is going well. Finding some good comics to take a look at and maybe visiting the local comic shop. Mr. Comics 89, hello. What is going on, Matthew? And now me knows. Now me knows. That's right, Geekdom, Southern style. Yeah, it was funny. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said I had an accent. I'm like, I don't have an accent. And the person that was talking to me about having an accent, I was like, this is the pot calling the kettle black, because this person had quite the accent. So I do know what this one is. This is from JHood Collectibles, Discovery Bay. JB over at Discovery Bay had a big giant auction the end of last month, and I was able to pick up some stuff, and so I've already gotten some of it and not the other. So this was one lot, and this was from I'll think about it in a minute when I'm not trying to. JHood Collectibles, there we go. And so this is a Jim Lee autographed poster. So pretty cool. Not a big poster guy, but love me some Jim Lee. And so decided to pick this up. What's up, Carolina Chris? Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, North Carolina's southern-ish, right? And Louisville's great. I don't know if I asked you this, Comic Ron. Did you go to GalaxyCon since you were up there in Kentucky? So JHood Collectibles sent me a message and said, hey, man, you were close enough to the marker. I'm going to go ahead and draw you something. So I think he posted this, but really cool looking cable drawing there. CFAP. What's going on, CFAP? But these were ones that I won from JHood's auction. So got some good Frank Miller and Jim Lee goodness there. And right there. Right there. And right there. So I actually had most of these, but the main reason why I bought this lot was for number one, which I did not have, and again signed here by the legend himself. And so I had most of these, like I said, except for the one. And for this one, I didn't have this one already. And so just got the other ones. So I'll check and see which one had the best looking deal. And then, like I said, I got this to boot. So Cable's one of my more favorite X-Men. And so was glad to pick that up. Also on the same auction, sorry for the noise, it's probably pretty bad, isn't it? Get that out of the way. Metaphorical was having his, no, it's not from Comic Tom, but he was able to reuse it, which is the same thing that I do. And Metaphorical was having some issues he was struggling with, packaging and sick and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just now getting this. He had messaged me earlier, said that I was supposed to get this today. Oh yeah, there ain't no sense in throwing them away when you can reuse them like that. So I bought a lot from Metaphorical, a lot of books, and then there's this one in particular that I bought. I didn't remember because the other one was just, I'd already paid for the shipping, so I said, I'll just buy this, which is pretty cheap. This is the main one that I had wanted, was the Deadpool 1. Logan eats poop. So he ended up having another one that he ended up auctioning later. I'd already got this one, but and I like this one better, but it says something about Deadpool. But it has a COA on the back here. Dynamic Forces, Deadpool 1. Signed and remarked by Ken Hesser. Not familiar with him, but pretty cool looking. All right. You also got an X-Men Unlimited #1. Remember that story back in the day. Seen these before, but never picked them up. But hey, it's a good thing. Is the First Class. This is Neil Adams goodness. Neil Adams goodness. Now these are the Marvel UK. Oh, I remember these back in the day. Digitech. Not familiar with this one. I remember the Death's Head and Hell's Angel, I think, was another one. Marvel UK. Heroes and Legends. Let's see. Captain America, Iron Man. Pretty cool retro cover there. With Doom being all BA in the back there. Just now getting over the flu myself. I did a haul video out. Yeah, man. Look, you don't want to be sick in the middle of fun times. You want to be sick in the bad times. I think this is a pretty good book. And matter of fact, I saw this the other night at Second and Charles, and I started to pick it up, but I didn't. But Venom #20, the Codex variant. Trying to remember the name. Is that Sleeper? Trying to remember the name of that symbiote. All right, Weapon X, First Class. This is part of the Ultimatum run. Not familiar with that. I'm familiar with Ultimatum. You know, a lot of people hate on Ultimatum because they had so many characters that were died off, and like Blob ate the Wasp, said she tasted like chicken, and then Giant Man ended up. This is not a spoiler because this is an old comic. Sleeper, thank you. But yeah, so but anyhow, so then Giant Man bit off Blob's head. So, but the thing I liked about Ultimatum was that heroes actually died and they stayed dead, and that was one of the things about the Ultimate Marvel Universe. The only thing, maybe they overdone it. Maybe they killed off too many of them at one time. And I don't know if maybe Marvel was already fixing to cancel the Ultimates titles, and so they were like, "Hey, let's just scratch it all now and have a big shebang, going out with a bang or something." But a lot of people hate on the story. I mean, I thought it was well written, other than maybe they went a little bit overboard. David Finch art, extremely awesome. So no woes there. And in the Ultimates line, I really liked how they brought mutants into the deal, and it was essentially the government set them all up, and it wasn't like they were naturally born that way. So Mr. Fantastic, not for sale. So I don't know if this came with an action figure. I know that's how some of these do sometimes, but a little Fantastic Four action. And then we got Ghost Rider number 0.1. Number 0.1. So not sure. I haven't kept up with Ghost Rider since the 90s. And so the Dan Ketch era or Johnny Blaze came back at that point. And haven't really kept up with him, but I know there's been several iterations of Ghost Rider since then. So I'm not sure which Ghost Rider this is. Maybe somebody else can leave a comment and let me know. So Ron, I had asked earlier, I don't know if you're still in the chat or not, but did you go to GalaxyCon last year, since you're up there in Kentucky? That was probably that was the biggest con I went to last year, and really liked it. Had a lot of good folks there, and I think it was really well organized. Sometimes you can go to these cons and these people, it's like, was there any thought put into how this thing's organized or run? People just show up and hope everything goes well. And anytime you get a whole bunch of people in there, it's just mass chaos. And so it's good when there's some coordination. And I felt like GalaxyCon had really done a good job in that. Seems like they used to call it something else, and they changed the name, sold their old name or something like that. And so appreciate 6 people joining us. If you're joining us, please hit the like button. Let's see, we got 2 people that have hit the like button there. And so I will go ahead and mention this. We did give away the giveaway for the 200 subscribers. And so I Love Disney and Comics was the winner of that, and was able to get in touch with him. And I sent him his book. Actually, CFAP, it's in the stack to go out with your stuff. Not to you, obviously, but it's in a different box. But anyway, so he'll be getting his book shortly. He chose the Venom that was signed by Ryan Stegman and Donnie Cates. And appreciate that, Carolina Chris, for giving the thumbs up there. But yeah, so we gave that book away. So we are at 210 subscribers. And so looking to go a little further, and I'm putting some stuff together on how I'm going to do it this time. The last time, that was my first contest, and I just said, all you have to do is subscribe. And the problem with that, at least that I found in trying to keep up with all that, was YouTube is changing around its YouTube Studio. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And I personally got it signed. I personally got that comic at a different one con, and then went to another con, and Stegman and Kate signed it. So it was a pretty cool book. But yeah, so yeah, well, you have to go into YouTube Studios, and you go to your to get a total list. You have to go to the old view of things, and to get a total. Yeah, they do. The government trying to infringe on you. You know, not like people are all mindless zombies and they can't make decisions for themselves. And when has advertisements been ever done but towards kids? Think back to your childhood in the 80s, and how everything was marketed in and around those cartoons. You couldn't watch G.I. Joe without having all the vehicles with G.I. Joe. You couldn't watch Transformers without having Generation 1, 2, or 3. You couldn't watch Masters of the Universe without having the latest and greatest. But and so it's not like it's anything new. We could just do like G.I. Joe used to, and then kind of as a counterbalance, we'd always say, "What are you going to do here?" Well, now I know, and knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. You could do something like that, maybe. But yeah, you should blindly trust the government. They're only trying to help. That's the scariest thing, right? We're from the government. We're here to help you. That's the scariest phrase uttered by a man. And if you don't believe that you can trust the government, if you don't believe you can trust the government, just ask the Indians. Just ask the Native Americans, right? The government broke every single treaty that they ever placed with the Indians, and we're going to put you off on your own little land, and you're going to be able to do your own little thing. And they took every bit of pride out of the whole Native American culture. So, so Carolina Chris says, I'm Native American, so no, I do not trust the government. Well, yeah, to my point, Chris, that's how it goes. I used to have some bumper stickers. Well, they weren't stickers; they were magnets, but they were like a bumper sticker, and it was on the back of my truck. And one of them is, of course, you can trust the government. It showed a Indian chief, like he was saying that. And I think that was lost on some people. I think it went over their heads as to what I meant by that. And the other one I had was, the worst crooks. The best crooks go to jail. The worst crooks go to Washington. I might have that reversed. The point being is the bigger crooks are in Washington. The small dogs are the ones that are in jail. But anyway, I'm getting off on my government soapbox. But so it was a little hard back to the original point about YouTube. It's a little hard to keep up with all the subscribers and all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to keep up with it in the future. Maybe people will make a video, or maybe people will do, like and make a comment on a certain video, whatever. The elite crooks go to the bank. That's right. That's right. And it is so hypocritical. See, this is really all y'all's fault, right? Getting me back on my comic musings or rantings, but anyway, it's like the person in Washington that says, "Oh yeah, the other party, they're the whole problem, and I'm trying to do stuff for the little people." Meanwhile, they're the billionaires. Or they say, "Well, the other party is the whole reason why we're having these problems." What did you do when you were in power? Oh, the exact same thing that they did. Nothing except line your own pockets. It's kind of like letting the fox in the hen house. And, you ask the fox, "Hey, hey, Bert, hey, Bert." I would trust Ernie more than I would trust any of my senators. That's for sure. I could know that Ernie was back there just trying to, sing "Rubber Ducky, you're the one." Whereas the senators are trying to stick a knife in my pocket and let all the money leak out. But yeah, so it's funny the hypocrisy that comes from our political system. But ask a fox how to ask a fox how He says, "Hey, could I go hide in that hen house?" "Oh, sure. You're not going to mess with the hens, are you?" "Oh no, I would never do anything like that." But yeah, of course he always goes, "Oh, cookie, yum, nom, 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 nom. And me want cookie." So, in case y'all haven't figured it by the voices, I do have kids. And the other thing with my voices is that I do puppets. And so I have in the past read a lot of puppet scripts done, the puppet acting, directing, and all that kind of stuff. So, um, so yeah, me want cookie, me want taxes, nom 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 nom, as they eat up all your money out of your wallet, out of your 401k, if they ever decide to go after it, go after your Social Security and everything else. We're from the government. We're here to help you. Anyhow, so yeah, so level up Monsanto with a side order deregulation. I'm sure that's going to help. Of course, we could go on these general rantings all day long. That's a good thing about comic books. You can kind of take your mind off some of this other stuff. Yeah, that Enron pension, how's that working out for you? The bottom line is that bad people are going to do bad stuff no matter how many laws you put on there. It's kind of like gun laws. Bad people are going to do bad stuff. And, it's only the good people that follow the laws. The laws are not for the lawless. The laws are for the people that follow them. Making one more regulation is not going to stop certain things from happening. The thing about it is punishment, swift and strict, when people do not regulate. That's the problem. And that was the deal with Enron. Did they really come back with anything, with any teeth to keep that from happening? Some of the stuff they did. I know, like with my current 401k, my match is made in company stock. And so as a result of the Enron debacle, they have to legally allow me to sell that stock within my 401k without any penalties. I can't draw it out, but I can sell it inside my 401k. And that was as a result of Enron. Unfortunately, bad stuff had to happen for people to realize that. That's the only sad thing about that one. WorldCom was another one. And 401k, 401 not okay. Yeah, that's what theirs was for sure. And talking about debacles like that, WorldCom was another one. Unfortunately, I was a WorldCom shareholder, and being from Brookhaven, Mississippi, as some of you might know, Bernie Evers is from, or was from, because he has now passed, but was from Brookhaven, Mississippi. And so where he got his money from was he walked these streets here in downtown Brookhaven and talked to all the people that had money and said, "Please invest in my company, LDDS." And then, of course, LDDS eventually became WorldCom, and WorldCom bought out MCI and was the second largest long distance provider behind AT&T. There's your history lesson. And anyway, he did some things, or was accused of doing some things. Where he did them or not, who knows? But I guess he knows, and he's now gone. Willful ignorance. Ignorance is not bliss, unfortunately, and he found that out. Not that he really, I mean, he lost it all. He got out of jail for a week before he died. His wife left him. I guess one can make an argument that he did lose some things, but anyhow. There I go. My rantings again, guys. This is all your fault. I need to quit looking at the live chat. You're distracting me. Comics are much funner to talk about because when you talk about politics, they become so divisive. I guess comic books, to a certain degree, you can be divisive with, because I know some people are like, what about The Last Jedi? They ruined the Star Wars franchise with Last Jedi. Yeah, okay. Or it's not X-Men. What do you like X-Men for? What about Avengers? Everybody's got their own opinion. I feel like, though, in the comic book community, that as a whole, people are generally, it's like, okay, you can have your opinion, I can have mine, and we can all live together, sing kumbaya and all that kind of stuff. But versus politics is just like, at each other. But maybe I need to relabel this and political rantings. So for full disclosure, but anyway, so yeah, I was able to pick up a couple of good books. I've got several more that I'm waiting for, and I'll drop those after I get those in. But Bake the Snake was supposed to be sending me another box. I ordered something from Night Tiger Comics. Okay, I had no idea your personal investment in that, bro. Oh man, no, it's I didn't take any offense to it whatsoever. Yeah, I had. What's up, Rod the Rican? Rod, where's my hat? My son took my hat, Rod. I would put it on for you, just for you, man. So anyway, got some stuff from Two Brothers Comics. Going to hook up with them, and that's Metaphorical. So just as a recap for everybody, I did pick up this cool poster right here, signed by Jim Lee, and a couple other stuff from Metaphorical, and also JHood Collects. Rod the Rican has joined us. The man has entered the building. Rod, I'm just did you finish eating your ramen noodles from last night? Perry giving you a hard time? You know how that goes. But so Venom variant edition, some heroes and legends there. Digitech. Rod says he did finish his ramen noodles from last night. So if you don't know what I'm referring to, he showed up on Perry's show last night, and so go check that out. Always a fun time over there. Oodles and noodles. And so the first X-Men, Neil Adams stuff there. X-Men Unlimited. So didn't have that. This was the cool one. I actually have a Deadpool 1 that I got Scott Hepburn to draw. It's if you go back and look at one of my videos, the first day of GalaxyCon, I've got that on there, and or second day of GalaxyCon, one of those two videos. And so I did a Deadpool. Scott Hepburn did of Deadpool and like the Wizard of Oz, But this one's cool. Logan eats poop. So kind of going with that Deadpool versus Logan deal. And JHood did this cool cable drawing there. Pretty dope. And we got a lot of the Frank Miller, Jim Lee, Batman, and Robin books. And it's just about the whole set there. So pretty cool. Mixing some Miller goodness. Miller's pretty hit and miss. Lately, he's been more miss. Maybe it's just his older age. And then again, that's just my opinion. But, back in the day, Dark Knight Returns and the Daredevil run, I mean, nobody's business. And then, in just my opinion, I don't know I don't know a single comic Jim Lee's ever missed on. The only thing Jim Lee's ever missed was a deadline. Um, but hey, nowadays he's got a lot more irons and responsibilities in the fire, and so therefore a little harder those deadlines now than ever before. And of course, back then, and this one's cool because it's got his signature there. Back then, he was doing so many comics. I mean, especially when they started Image up, you can imagine it's hard. It's easy. It's kind of like on football, right? The Super Bowl just happened, and everybody goes, "Oh man, why didn't he throw that football to the other person? He was wide open." Well, that's easy for us to see because we see it on replay. But we're not the ones getting chased down by 300-pound gorillas trying to knock us down to the ground and break our backs, right? It's easy for the armchair quarterback to say, "Well, he should have done this or he should have done that." But at the end of the day, they're the guys out there seeing things on the field, and hindsight is 2020. So it's easy for us to say, well, why didn't he make his deadline? But there's a lot that goes into that, and you take it to the editor and they say, scrap it, let's do it all, do it a different way, and then you're having to go back and do different storyboards and all that kind of good stuff. So CFAP says Daredevil Frank Miller was great. It was. The whole Elektra Bullseye era, is it Klaus Janson, and Frank Miller. I mean, even Bill Sienkiewicz. Adios, Rican. Thank you for stopping by, and be seeing you later. But yeah, so those days, I mean, that's classic Daredevil to me. And that's probably. I probably stopped reading Daredevil back 300, I think, is the fall of the Kingpin. I think that was it. And so, that stuff and that era was really the last, fun to me Daredevil. Now, I've heard that a lot of the Daredevil stuff that's going on now is really good. I've just got so many books that I'm already buying, and now Marvel's trying to do it to me again because now they're making 100 books for X-Men. But hey, they're a business, and so when you got a book that's selling, it's like give them more of it until they quit taking it, and then you go, okay, let's cancel the series. But yeah, so now there's going to be more, and they're sending them out twice a month as opposed to the once a month deal. So they'll be getting more of my money. So I've been trying to trim down those books. I need to do something for my show tonight. Congrats on getting 200. Thanks, Rod. And Rod's part of the reason why I got to 200, because a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, to be more specific, about 3 months ago, I just had like 10, 15 viewer subs, and Rod, gave me a couple shout outs, and then started hopping in some chats on Discovery Bay and those type of things. And next thing you know, I'm up to 200. It's not 200,000, it's just 200, but we're growing. And so that kind of put it in perspective. But anyway, so did a lot of rantings, but I did want to get back to this. I am going to be doing a even bigger giveaway for the 500 subscriber mark. So we're not going to another 200, but we're going to 500, and we're going to do an even bigger giveaway than we did last time with the Donnie Cates and Ryan Stegman deal. And so trying to finalize what exactly that is, how big do we want to go, then setting the time limits on that. Like if we make that by a said month, then we'll give away this second prize as well. We'll probably do something like that, and how y'all enter and kind of get all that ironed out so that everybody's clear and has no questions as to how they will get what they need to get. So I really appreciate all of you joining me for my comic book / political rantings today. It is a great Saturday. Hopefully it's good weather and everybody's in good health where you are at, if you're watching it live or if you're watching it on the replay. Either way, hope you're getting some good comic books read this weekend. So everybody have a great weekend. And until next time, keep reading and keep collecting.